Pikachu, becoming friends with Giratina. He protect, he attack, but most importantly, he snack. The ultimate battle to find out who has the most aura. Notice how the goat goes to every fight in enemy territory while the washed bum has to hide away in the ocean. Yeah, it is an unfair advantage. Charizard, without his cream-colored belly. You're welcome. My psychologist and my girlfriend's psychologist fighting each other through us. You can hide in tall grass to surprise wild Pokemon. Well, the turntables. Would you rather have the perfect girl or one Pokemon? How about both and then more? Professor Oak wants you to tell the difference between these two Voltorb. They're the same. Fun fact, Klotz's Japanese name is pronounced Du. Du roughly translates to King of the Earth. Kneel before me, peasant. Shut up, James. Oh, it's a tentacruel world. Me, pretending that I don't care about the Pokemon so it gets captured. New Eevee evolution called Ibuprofen. Don't take too much. Trading Pokemon cards during lunch. How it looked versus how it felt. I never traded my cards, we all used to play together though. Can't stop thinking about Dwayne the Regirock Johnson. Imagine explaining to a non-Pokemon fan that the guy on the left would absolutely destroy the person on the right. When it's canon, but it's so stupid you gaslight yourself into thinking it's not. The canon heights of Pokemon because food gives you energy. Me, after eating, thinking about how much James loves his Pokemon. The new legendary Pokemon have interesting designs. Wanna ride me? What? It's like the avatar animals. I don't know what they're called. I don't want to be a Pokemon master anymore. If I lived in a Pokemon world, this would be me. This would be me and this would definitely be my mum. Choose your first Pokemon. I choose you! Get 'em, Oak. Show them your wood. I think about Pokemon in non-battle situations a lot. Like Pokemons who have been trained/raised to be helpers and assistants, then to be battle partners. Pokemon visiting hospitals to cheer patients up like dogs and cats do. Or ones that help kids learn to read, swim, speak, or go through therapy. Even Pokemon whose abilities help owners with specific disabilities. I love thinking of Pokemon outside the battle situations. James's Pokemon and Jesse's Pokemon. Don't do it! Charmander is eyeing the diving board. Think you're safe on land, do you? No one is safe from me. The masculine urge to only use Pokemon that look cool. Something tells me the people who make Ben 10 like Pokemon. These Pokemon donuts are so cute. Do you want drooling emoji? I wouldn't say cute is the word. Women. Sis, am I chubby? No. Men. Am I fat, bro? I know 5 fat guys and you're 4 of them. Attack on Gengar. Choose your starter. The big one in the back. Child of God and Lord of the Distortion World. Giratina. Great choice. I love you. Humans will no longer be controlled by Darwin's evolution. The type of thing the antagonist of a Pokemon game says before sending out a level 44 Crobat. There is a single frame of Cyndaquil's eyes open in the anime, and it's a masterpiece. No, you can't just make a Pokemon based on me. Metal spoon noises. I'm flattered. Salamency. Super effective against itself. A company sells Pokemon Frankenstein plushies that are made from various parts of Pokemon and stitched back together. Now whose power would they have? Something I can't forgive about those websites where you can make lists of your favorite Pokemon is that they never let you pick Pokemon specifically after Ditto's transformed into them. Like, sincerely, this is a perfect being. He's so wide. Pokemon gender distributions according to fans. Okay, not okay. Huh, well it seems Lucario likes you. 7-year-old me after that line. They love me. Ash walking out of the Pokemon series without ever buying Misty a new bike. Pokemon games were never hard. Okay bro, explain this then. What 3 years ago feels like versus what 3 years ago really is. Never forget the people that thought this photoshopped picture of Iggy was a legit Pokemon XY leak. Never forget that Jessie went to Pokemon nursing school with a class of Chanseys, the guardians of the skies and seas. People younger than me. Pokemon is lame. Me, a 28-year-old adult. One of life's hardest choices is which starter are you picking in Pokemon? Cat, rabbit, fox. Cat, rabbit, fox, fox, rabbit, cat, cat, fox, cat, rabbit, fox, rabbit, cat. Hey, for water type moves, do you think Pokemon use their sweat or other bodily fluids? Who the hell starts a conversation like that? I just sat down. 15-year-old me. Starter, strongest member. Slave. 9-year-old me. Shout out to Pokemon that kicks you. Gotta be one of my favorite genders. This gym is great, it's full of women. If the odd man outside of the gym can learn to respect women, so can you. One's man trash is another man's treasure. If a Magikarp came flopping out, I would toss it right back in the river. Broke up with my girl because her favorite Pokemon was the only one sociopaths choose. Nobody knows the science behind it, but there are pics that genuinely make you undateable. Pokemon Burgers served it down and out in Sydney, Australia. Not in and out. He thinks everything is a game. Stupid Mudkip. How do we have 8 generations of Pokemon? Almost 900 Pokemon, and not one of them is a dolphin? Because we have way cooler things. Pokemon centers and Pokemarts used to be separate buildings. Sure, Grandma, let's get you to bed. The CGI in the new live-action Pokemon movie looks so great. Pokemon graphics, Pokemon music, Pokemon animation. Condomon, I choose you. STIs aren't Pokemon. Don't catch them all. Your daddy didn't die, Naruto. He became a gym leader in Pokemon. Glockrion, the ballistic Pokemon. When your Pokemon reached level 100 by eating nothing but rare candies. My friendship circle over the years, from people to Pokemon. By the way, I am so charming and handsome and immune to most forms of damage. Caught a restock. Oh yeah, just a restock, nothing else. Can we be legendaries now? Arcanine should be a legendary. Snorlax, but make it Halloween. Evolving Pokemon back then. Level up, Stone, trade. Evolving Pokemon now. Has your Pokemon walked 30,000 steps while simultaneously doing a handstand with the Nintendo Switch upside down, or spinning around in circles at least 50 times on top of the Statue of Liberty during a sunset on a Wednesday evening? I once tried to take a screenshot of a Dynamaxed Wooper exploding and ended up with this declaration of what we truly are. Wooper is we. Game Freak trying to get Pokemon players to stop wanting to get with the Pokemon by adding 6-foot Poke Mummy. What's the most loved Pokemon? Apparently it's Charizard and God of War. People who don't know, people who know. Other regional legendaries. We control life, death, time, space, water, land. Alolan legendaries. Just straight aura farming. Wrestling themed Pokemon designs are so based. We really went from Hawk to a Tiger within one generation. Do not read this out loud. I'd love to see stray cat Pokemon such as Skitty or Glameow hiding around the city's architecture in Legend ZA Pokemon. Wrong! Helipotile. Worried about Pokemon Go drivers? Just wait for Mario Kart Go drivers. Do you like Infernape? Franchise player. A guy that can set the tone on a fence. Can get a bucket anywhere on the floor. Great footwork and lateral quickness. Really just a generational talent. Consider this. Get the Jolteon out of a blender. Me in my final form. I'm so confused. What Pokemon is this? I can't get over how cute this Bulbasaur is from Pokemon Evolutions. It looks like a kitty. The weird tree attack. Pokemon in 1999. Vietnam. You got the graphics, but you lost your essence. You've got 2 Pokeballs left. Who are you catching? I'm catching Pikachu and Eevee. I remember when I used to look like that guy until you switched up. Yeah, I wasn't gonna drink tonight, but man, I'm missing Pokemon like an MF. They don't know I'm shiny. This is genuinely one of the most unhinged and funniest Pokedex entries of all time. Why did they write this? Game Freak's favorite hobby is edging Johto fans. Guys, I'm starting to forget the names of Pokemon. My friend, Pokemon aren't real. Me. Pikachu, use bubonic plague. So I made more Wooloos. Something's off about one of them, but he's got a lot of spark. Everyone. Yo, my Sinnoh team is going to be so fire. The team every time. Robin Williams was a lifelong Pokemon fan and even lobbied to play Professor Oak in a live-action adaptation. The Pokemon Company adored, saying they had nobody else in mind for the role. After his passing, they announced Oak would never be cast in live-action out of respect. Pokemon don't have to obey the law. They can get away with more. They can kill. Bro's sleeping like he paid his bills. Nobody. My brain at 3 a.m. Jolteon. Jolty off. The way Dratini faints in Pokemon Stadium. Favorite fire/fighting type? It's gotta be Blastoise. This Josh fight is the closest thing to world peace we've had since Pokemon Go. Wait a minute. Rayquaza, why does it look like a hose pipe? You can choose 2 of these baby Pokemon to have as a pet/friend. If this isn't a vibe, then I don't know what is. The only known picture of Cubone without a mask, and he's playing the flute, but it's just a piece of wood. Iron Thorn's pre-evolution concept. I want to step on his toe and have him flip open like a garbage can. Adults are acting like children and ruining the Pokemon's 25th anniversary McDonald's Happy Meal promotion. Screw them kids. Me. What the hell? Why is this Piplup plush on Pokemon Center for $350? Plush. Adoption fee. How Pokemon trainers shower. Pokemon protagonists, when they realize they've got to destroy destroy a criminal enterprise that just summoned a Pokemon capable of blowing up the entire planet. I'm 13 and this is ridiculous. Dragonite shoots Hyper Beam from that orb on its tail. Is it the place where they store power or something? Bro, you've got to check out this Pokemon ROM hack. It's so good. The very first battle you get into. Who start with Naruto? Who start with JoJo? Beginners. People whose first anime was Pokemon. Mine technically was Pokemon. Every serious gym has at least one guy that's built and looks like this. If I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell anyone, but there would be signs. My first time playing Pokemon, realizing that my Pokemon can follow me. Imagine a Pokemon game this big. The starter your rival took. The starter you took. The one that's left behind. Hold the Pidgey. Revisited Pokemon Violet on a whim and did a gym battle. This is the type of player Pokemon balances the games around. This is really the downfall of Pokemon. What is Starly's nickname? Fart. You can't enter that name. Come on, Fart, really? What's a Pokemon that you like, but is also a Pokemon that not a lot of people like? Is this Luminos City Gym? No, this is Patrick. No one heals themselves by wounding another. 14 Pokemon moves. My hydration is evolving. Pokemon X Ghibli. If only. In the future, I pray. If you know, you know. They got my guy Slowpoke. I can't breathe. Make your choice. Full team of shiny dragon Pokemon or a hash brown. The Pokemon Go intro screen has certainly changed a lot in the last 5 years. Legendaries. Sword Dance is better. Gives great boost in attack, plus my ability cuts water type damage by 50%. No, Calm Mind is better. Magikarp. You wanna splash? Yeah, let's splash. The definition of teamwork. They're both ride or dies for each other. Therapist. When did the gambling problems start? Me. A slot machine. Want to play? I beat the Pokemon champion by poisoning his final Pokemon and then spamming revives till it died. I probably would have been booed out the stadium had that been a real event. He's been here since the beginning of Pokemon. 2015. Just playing Pokemon. That's the only thing on your mind. Pokemon, Pokemon, Pokemon. 2025. Why is YouTube there as if that's like a bad thing? Realistic Pokemon Tumblr account dodged a bullet. Thoughts? Well, this is how Evolution Chain looks now. How delightfully messy. We are just slowly becoming Digimon. Fun fact, Dialga was basically having a heart attack the entirety of Pokemon Mystery Dungeons. Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Second generation. Fire Breather PP wants to battle. Generation 4. You are challenged by Fire Breather Richard. These are the 3 starter Pokemon in Puerto Rico. The plan backfired. How to turn any Pokemon into a ghost type and human. You can talk to me and my son whenever you like. I still find it hilarious that these two had beef. No, I caught a duplicate shiny Pokemon. I hate this game. Wow, a shiny Pokemon. I'm so happy. This and nah, actually, this is enough. If you want more, you're being greedy. Pokemon Logic. Mel Metal. Can't learn Metal Burst. Can learn Metal Burst. Incineroar. Can't learn Incinerate. Can learn Incinerate. Iron Hands. Can't learn Helping Hand. Can learn Helping Hand. Pokemon Fusion. Laptops, Lapras, Kabutos. I like this design. I wish I could stunt like him. Sir, the Federal Reserve just blew up. My 8-year-old brother explaining why Charmander is the best starter Pokemon because he looks like a dragon. 20-year-old me who really liked the green onion Pokemon. How it feels to have a favorite Pokemon with 4 times weaknesses. New Pokemon games. Here's a legendary Pokemon. Don't worry, just take it. Old Pokemon games. Learn Braille, I don't give a damn. I'm laughing so hard at Machop's mailbox and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Where do you even lift? How my Dratini sees himself in the first party slot. I got him at level 10 late in the game, and I'm swapping him to grind out XP. Doctor, I'm sorry, the surgery failed, and unfortunately, you have completely lost your memory. What do you mean unfortunately? You all nickname your Pokemon? Ayo, this dude doesn't form an emotional attachment to his Pokemon. Are you okay, babe? You've hardly touched your Dialgumba. Sometimes Pokemon logic makes me mad. Flygon used Dig. Tysplosion used Earthquake. Flygon's Levitate protects it from damage. Steve Irwin gets reimagined as a Pokemon trainer. 2005 versus 2023. Pokemon ditched the transition to battle, and the Pokemon can legit hit you. That is a whole bear charging at you as you run for your life. She's so much bigger than the other white woman. Good lord. This looks like a Pokemon evolution chart. Catching Reshiram in a Master Ball because it's easier. In a Premier Ball for the color coordination. The boss when you battle it versus the boss when you unlock it on your team. I used to think Conkeldurr was the ugliest Pokemon on Earth, but after a while I started to feel a connection to the tired yet get smug face. I replaced the concrete block with ice lattes and created the most relatable Pokemon of all time. Thinking about them. Therapist. Stadium 2 Crobat isn't real. It can't hurt you. Stadium 2 Crobat. Everyone. How will we stop Godzilla? Shanghai. Hold my beer. I don't like when Pokemon gain a new evolution, and the shiny form doesn't follow the same color scheme. It's always, I miss Fat Pikachu, but what about Fat Meowth? Why not try Mega Evolutions? We've got, where are the arms? Explosive Christmas Tree. My grandfather's deck has no pathetic cards. Be careful who you call ugly in middle school. My very existence is pain. The cooler Iron Man. What breeding for a shiny Pokemon feels like, in case you were curious. Mewtwo. Rewatching this episode after 20 years, and just now realizing there were shiny Nidorians the whole time. Childhood me had no idea. I love seals. Me too. What about the third person who likes Navy SEALs? Its first ever champion is Contestant Satoshi. I never noticed this was a thing because all my Pokemon are huge, but apparently when you make curry, the portion size of the serving on the right depends on the size of the first Pokemon in your party. Question: what's the best evolution Pokemon? Legendary Pokemon waiting for some kid to wander into their cave and catch them. Whoever made this Pokemon Unite Snorlax skin, I hope they get a raise. Fitting in society, being happy. Stop fighting! Pokemon, except there are no Pokemon and everyone just gets into fistfights. People walk up and talk to you and then immediately deck you afterwards. Hi, I like your shorts, they're comfy and easy to wear. I need to research why Pokemon cards are so expensive. Computer, show me Pokemon inflation. Stories through Pokemon cards. Looking up Pokemon breeding in 2001. I don't want to look that up now. Still the best exchange in any Pokemon game. Hey son, did you know? Of course. Know what? I haven't even finished the question yet. Easily the most annoying and worst villains in Pokemon. Here's a cute shiny Psyduck. Who's that Pokemon? It's Pikachu! Yeah! Let's go. Resting up for her big adventure. The new Pokemon Snap is looking... Okay, you're a... You freak! Balding Fraud Limiki. 4 championships, 10 final appearances. The very best like no one ever was. 1 championship in 25 years. Throwback to 2010, when the silhouettes of the Unova starters were revealed and someone predicted this legendary design. Maybe if you were playing Pokemon on the Game Boy Advanced, you wouldn't be so angry. Pokemon fan spends 30 hours making incredible Vaporeon doll. Why is this sus? Welcome to the Pokemon Center. Ah! Would you like to rest your Pokemon? Ah! Would you like to rest? Ah! Would you like to? Ah! We hope to see you again. I had a dream recently that I was out playing Pokemon Go and people all over the world had started seeing this new Pokemon popping up. Like out of nowhere, this little thing started appearing occasionally. No word from Niantic or the Pokemon Company about when or why they had released it. The Pokemon was called Sleepy Tired and it looked like this. You couldn't catch it, the ball would just go straight through it. People were data mining and stuff trying to figure out how to catch this thing, but they couldn't. Eventually, they would just have to give up and leave the encounter. After a few weeks of people reporting sightings, some creepy stuff started happening. What started happening was, if you entered an encounter with a Sleepy Tired, with the AR on it, it would manifest in the real world, but it wouldn't do anything. It would just float there, watching. So people being curious started doing this whenever they could, and these things would just manifest and stay there. Obviously this was causing problems because these things would just be floating menacingly in parks and in a local McDonald's. They couldn't be moved because anyone who tried to move them or touched them would be struck by sudden, intense, chronic fatigue that seemingly had no cure. The last part of the dream I remember was watching a news broadcast telling people that Pokemon Go was now illegal, and to avoid touching or disturbing the creepy little things that are now just about everywhere. What? No particular order. The hell? Sounds like you had a creepy pasta for a dream. What's your most obscure Pokemon fact? Erica was originally the ghost-type gym leader of Lavender Town, and was implied to actually be a corpse being moved by her ghost Pokemon. By the fact she wears her yukata, is folded right side over left, which in Japanese tradition is only done for dressing corpses for funerals. Cerebi update, the Pokemon North America International Championships will distribute a code to get an Incineroar based on Wolf Glick's Incineroar during the stream. Pokemon be like, yeah, here's a code to receive your very own free Satoru Gojo. Here's a little interesting fact. A majority of the team bosses run Crobat on their teams, a Pokemon that only evolves via friendship. In Black and White, Jetsis Hydreigon actually runs Frustration, a move that actually increases in power the more the Pokemon hates its trainer.